Hello there. So here's what I want to share with you today. Not every conversation in your business is an enrollment call, is a sales call. Today, I want to share with you the 5 different types of conversations that will help you move your business forward and help you expand in a really big way. Not all of them are enrollment conversations in the way that you think. So I really want to invite you to look at having conversations about your business in a different light, with a generosity mindset, with an abundance mindset. All right, so hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here for this next episode of Joyful Business TV. I'm Laura West, host of your show. I'm also a business and business success mindset coach at the Center for Joyful Business. You can check it out on joyfulbusiness.com. So let me tell you a little bit about me. For over 20 years, I have been a coach, working with other successful coaches, healers, creatives, and conscious business owners, probably like you, to help you discover, claim, and really activate that soul work, right? That work that is your medicine that you are here to bring out into the world, to share with the world, to help heal and transform, expand and grow, make better your part of the world, while also making great money to be able to support your business and your life and fund your dreams. All right, so an important part of this is having conversations. I always like to say that, we can put out our desire, connect with our visions, put out our desires, connect with the universe. And you know what? The universe is going to get creative in how it delivers opportunities to us. Those opportunities are going to come to us through people, through people. All right. So it's all about having conversations with people. So I know in this day and age, we want to automate everything, digitalize it. We think that we cannot have conversations with people, but actually if you want to grow and expand your business, unless you're going to, there is one type of business where it's just all about the digital, all about the SEO, all about ads, and that's it. But for most of us, to grow our business, we need to grow our business through connecting to other people, to find our clients, to find opportunities to be more visible, to collaborate. So that's what I want to share with you today, the 5 different types of conversations that you can have that will help you grow your business in a bigger way, because those conversations are going to lead to all sorts of opportunities. And I know some of you are maybe are more in the introvert category, or like me, you're in the ambivert category, where people think that you're really extrovert on social media, but when they meet you, they realize, oh, you're more introvert than I thought. So I can be extrovert for a while, and then I've got to refuel, and, I love my alone time, right? That's my creative, introspective time. So everything that I share always has this kind of bent, I guess is the word, kind of leaning towards, how do you do this when you're not always naturally conversational, when, being super conversational, being woo on the Strengths Finder, those of you who are familiar with Strengths Finders, when that's not your natural place, right? So I've had to learn this over the years, because I wasn't naturally a person who can start conversations with anybody that I meet. I have some wonderful friends who they've never met a stranger, including my dad, right? He'll talk to people at the gas station when he's filling up with gas, all the time. So I'm always going to be giving you some ideas for how to do that. And so part of how this came about, of coming up with these 5 conversations, is directly because I needed to break them down so that I didn't feel this pressure that every time I talk to somebody, I should sell them something, or go in the other way where I never make an invitation. So that might sound familiar for you. And as you are building your business, having a successful business, growing more and more, sometimes we think that those conversations don't matter. But actually they matter even more. That's what I have found as I have, expanded my business pretty in a big way. I have to create more and more time to have those conversations, to be able to continue to expand my business, to fill the programs I have, to connect with the right people I'm meant to serve, to look for other opportunities to be able to serve other people and create these collaborations. So let's talk about all this. All right. So I have a process that I call elegant enrollment. And again, it was birthed because most of my clients were scared to death to sell, right? As soon as you say you've got to sell something or have a selling conversation, they would freeze up. So part of the elegant enrollment process is identifying 5 different types of conversations and knowing that which kind of conversation you're going into so that you can be prepared, you can be relaxed, you can be aligned with what the goal is, the intention is for each of your calls. So the first type of call is a simple get to know each other call. And this is really important because you're not always selling. Sometimes you just need time to get to know each other. So you might meet somebody at a networking event. You might have, I had a conversation a couple of months ago, actually the beginning of the year, with someone that I'd known for over a decade. And we had just never had a conversation. And so we had a get to know each other conversation just to understand what's going on in her business. I could tell her what's going on in my business. We could share who our ideal clients are. We could talk about what opportunities we might have. Once we decided, yes, we were indeed soul sisters and good collaborators, that we were very similar in the way we treat our messages and the types of people, there's overlap in our soul tribes, then it would move to the next place. How could we collaborate? What kind of opportunities could we showcase each other in? So this is important to know that sometimes you're just getting to know somebody to see where they might fit in. It might be like this, where we were soul sisters and we're promoting each other. It might be that, in fact, you can help them and they would be an ideal client. It might be that they are not going to be an ideal client. However, many times when they're not an ideal client, they might be able to introduce you to ideal clients. They might have a referral for you. They might have a referral or introduction for you for someone who has a podcast who reaches your soul tribe. And likewise, you might have resources that you can share for that person as well. So again, you want to approach this with a generosity mindset. How can I help you? How can you help me? How can we support each other? And sometimes it's not always a two-way street. Sometimes you can help them, but they can't help you. And you know what? With that generosity and abundance mindset, you just trust that you're putting good vibes into the world. You are making an introduction. You never know where it's going to go. And that it comes back to you either directly or indirectly, because it always does. All right, that's the first conversation. The second conversation is what I call a connection conversation, or it might be called a reconnection conversation. That's probably a better name for it, reconnection conversation. And this is where you invite people to reconnect and say, it could be a past client. It could be a connection conversation, could be with a current client where you're just having a conversation or reaching out. A conversation could be email, it could be Voxer, it could be voicemail, it could be a text message, just checking in with them and seeing how they're doing. So that's one way of doing that for your current clients. A reconnection conversation might be with a colleague, we haven't talked in a while, or someone who was maybe you had a consultation with them a year ago or 3 months ago, and you just want to reconnect and see how they're doing, seeing how you might be able to serve them. So it's kind of like going into your soul tribe and saying, who haven't I talked to in a while? And if you don't know who's in your soul tribe, look at the previous episode where I just talked about who are the 6 different people in your soul tribe. Those make great people to have conversations with, connection conversations with. You never know where those connection conversations are going to lead. You could be talking to a colleague who, again, you talked to them a year ago or a couple of years ago or 5 years ago. I just reconnected with a really dear friend and colleague over the weekend, and they were in the same city that I was in unexpectedly. And we reconnected, and we're going to have a conversation, reconnection conversation. You just never know where these things are going to go, how you might be able to support each other, or maybe you just have an inspiring conversation. That alone, and I want to underline for the get to know you calls, the connection conversations, if you just get inspired, right? Maybe they uplift you in some way. You get one idea from each other. That is priceless. It is truly priceless. Sometimes people, they talk about, well, you don't want to have, you don't want to talk to tire kickers and things like that. There's other things that you can do in your marketing so that people, when they come to you in these conversations, that they already know who you are. They already know you, like you, trust you. So you're already aligned. Again, if they're part of your soul tribe, you're already aligned in some way with similar beliefs, values, ways that you think about what it is that you're offering. So I find that they're rarely tire kickers. Maybe they're not ready to work with you at this time. Maybe they don't fit into your price level for what you're offering right now. But you know what? You never know in the future if they will be, and you never know who they might refer to you. All right. The third type of conversation is what I call an invitation call. And this is very specifically with somebody you already know. So they're already warm, right? This is not like cold calling, but this is where you're going to make an invitation to somebody. Hey, I know we talked last year about, for example, I know we talked last year about how you love to come to retreats. I'd love to let you know about the retreat I have coming up. Let me know if you want more information. You want to have a phone call about it. It might be, you see somebody who would just be perfect for being in one of your programs and that you know them. And so you could reach out to them and say, I've got something perfect. I would really love to talk to you about it. And, are you up for that? And you can invite them into that invitation conversation, or you might direct message them, text them, depending on what your preferred way. You want to know what your preferred way is to reach out. So you can invite them and have an actual invitation. Hey, I want to tell you about something specific. All right. I like to have programs that are more I don't want to say entry level, because I don't mean entry level, introductory level is what I mean. Not entry level as far as for newbies, but introductory level, so that you can invite them into something, a free workshop, a low-cost workshop, a low-cost membership, a one-off retreat, something that you can invite people to so that they have a lower investment. They get to know and like you and get into your soul tribe even more deeply. And then from there, it's so easy to make the next offer for how you can help them. All right, that's the third one. So the fourth type of conversation is what I call a referral call. This is where it's somebody you know or you don't know. It can be either way. And you're getting together. You know that you are not each other's clients. However, you're still interested in how you might be able to support each other. So I had met somebody for a tea the other day at Starbucks, and she's a financial person, and I already have much of what she's offering, and she's not necessarily interested right now in what I'm up to as far as my particular programs. However, we had some really great ideas for how we might be able to collaborate, or I might be able to step into a nonprofit organization, get more visibility, step into a leadership role. She might be able to share some of her information with my soul tribe. So we found these other types of ways where we could refer each other. All right. The fifth type of conversation is an actual strategy call or a consultation. Okay. It's okay to have strategy calls and consultations. So I'm not saying that you're not going to have some sort of enrollment call. Absolutely. You want to have that. You want to have that available on your website. You want to be able to offer that to people. So sometimes you will meet people who you don't know very well, and they're very interested in your business. So of course, you can invite them into a consultation or a strategy call. You don't have to have a get to know each other call or something like that. You can go ahead and invite them right to the consultation, right? What I call an elegant enrollment conversation. And to see if you're the right fit for each other, right? I was going to say something else about that. So what I was going to say is sometimes your reconnection conversations or your get to know each other's calls turn out to be very obvious. They want to know more about what you're offering. So I have that happen with colleagues all the time. We'll just do a simple reconnection, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, I want to know more about what you're up to. I might be really interested in that program. And it turns into a strategy call or an enrollment conversation. So those are the 5 different types of conversations. To me, it's really important to know which ones you're having so that you don't feel this pressure. I must sell that person into a program, or one of my packages. And at the same time, you want to be ready for that, right? In case it does turn in that direction. But you really want to approach every conversation as an opportunity. How can you be generous? How can you come from an abundance mindset? Even if you do something similar, how could you share places where they could speak? Maybe you've been on a podcast, or you've written in a magazine, and you could share that with somebody so that they can help get exposure and visibility. That generosity and abundance mindset, it creates an energy around you. So even if they're not a client, you never know from that generosity where that might lead, what that might open up, or in having that conversation where they might be able to introduce you to the perfect client, the perfect introduction at an organization you've been wanting to go into. So I hope this has given you some ideas, some food for thought, some different ways of thinking about conversations. The last thing that I want to share with you is the more successful you are, and I alluded to this earlier, the more successful you are, the more money you're making, the more important these conversations become. So yes, you might have ways that you are filtering these conversations so that you're not necessarily getting people who are not interested in your business at all. That's where like for me, that's where my marketing comes in. People are pretty aligned. I have a pretty high conversion rate when I talk to clients, potential clients, because they already have been engaged in some way. And so those conversations are elegant enrollment conversations. When you are, the busier you are, right, you can't always be talking to every single person and be on phone calls all day. So there's certain strategies that you want to employ to be able to have time for those conversations, because those are the conversations that are going to get you the introductions. They're going to have you create the collaborations, the joint ventures that are going to expose you to more of the people who could be in your soul tribe and more of your clients, and more visibility, more opportunities for you to step into your leadership. So at every level, you want to look at this. You just do it different. With the more success you are, you might have to schedule your conversations. You might have to batch them. You might have to have certain times. I know I set aside certain times in my week for those conversations because I don't have a ton of open time because I'm working with clients or creating content or doing my marketing or just having creative thought days, where I need to be thinking and writing and things like that. All right, I hope this has given you some different ways to be thinking about your business, different ways to be thinking about conversations, and to help you be more prepared and to look at these connections, these relationships with people. Because again, the universe works through people. The universe is going to present you opportunities through people. So you want to nourish these relationships. And I find it helps when you think about these calls in different ways. All right, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have enjoyed today's episode. If you are curious about how do you discover and activate your soul work, you want to find out more about how to do this in a way that is really authentic, that is using your connection to the universe, to source, as well as your practical smart marketing, go check out things at joyfulbusiness.com, and I'd love to see you over there. All right, look forward to having you in my soul tribe. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are 2 powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com.